Hi, welcome back to the channel, Michelle, and today I'm going to be taking you through and showing you our homeschool spaces. Now, I did a video about a year and a half ago where I took you through and show you where we homeschool because we do not have a specific dedicated homeschool room. We just use our living spaces, and things have changed since then. You know, I have my upcoming preschool joining us this year, and workload has changed for kids, organization has changed for kids, so I thought it'd be a good time to update and show you how I'm fitting everything in. Because one of the issues I definitely have in my house, it's an older house, over 100 years old, is the lack of storage spaces available. So on my entire first floor, there's one closet, and it's not a large closet, and it houses bins of toys. We do a toy rotation. It has the vacuum, the mop, some of my husband's like regular tools, like hammers and stuff. So that's not an option to put any homeschool materials that I'm not currently using, or for example, there is an 8-year gap between my oldest and my youngest. I have a 3.5-year-old, 6.5-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So there's a lot of material I'll be holding on to for a while. So our basement storage, we do have a basement, is not an option because again, it's an older house. We do have a sub pump and everything like that, but despite that, it still occasionally gets a little bit of water when we have heavy rains. So it can be more of a damp environment. It's not a finished basement in any means, you know, just concrete floor, all that. So I can't keep any paper materials downstairs. Even in bins, the moisture would be a bad idea. So I thought it'd be a good idea to show you how I'm currently organizing materials I'm not using, because I think that's a big thing, figuring out where to stick the stuff you're not currently using. So first I'm going to take you through and show you kind of where we homeschool, the different areas I utilize, and then I'm going to show you some of the organization. So the first one is, this is our family room. This is one of the spaces we utilize, and I'll turn you around in a minute. And as you can see here, this is, again, a living space. We don't have room for a dedicated homeschool space, and I'd prefer to have a living space over homeschool space because we just utilize it more. So we just put homeschooling stuff where it makes sense at the time. So as you can see, this you've seen probably a couple times in my video. This is our couch, and my kids will use this when we do art because there is a TV in here. So I can project my laptop screen, and my daughter does IEW in here, and we have a little roll cart that goes under the couch, and it's like a desk. I'll show you in a minute. But the nice thing, this does come out and up, so it can be a full-size almost bed. And this does open for storage, which I love Ikea products, but it would be nice, except that my husband utilizes that for his gaming collection. So again, finding storage when you can. But we do use this couch and TV for homeschooling. Over here, we got these Ikea bookshelves a couple years ago. This is pretty much top homeschooling, regular books, and my preschoolers' toys. Over here is more toy storage. We do have Legos. Again, this is an Ikea product. We do have Legos here. We have art supplies here that I don't mind them using. We have blank paper, notebooks, crafting supplies, and this is Barbie's, and that is Barbie like furniture and things like that. And then I did switch out the map. We used to have a world map here, but since we're doing United States geography, I put that up, and that's just from the Target dollar section. So you can see I have toys on the bottom because everything my son can reach has to be okay for him to use. And I did change it this year, so these are his 2 shelves for books. This is some of his favorite books. I do rotate through his books. He has more in his room. These are some of the things I'll be using with school for him, so some dry erase ones and just some educational books. This is one of his favorites. This shelf is all just regular books. So some of their, and I do occasionally have the kids go through their books because again, we have a limited amount of space. I know one day I will have these 2 shelves once we're done with all the little kid toys, but for now I need to utilize the space I have, and you know, my son's 3, he deserves to have his toys out too. Up here we have some more nonfiction, so this is like history. This is like animals and habitats. Human bodies right here. This entire shelf right here is poetry. This section is poetry. This is reference books. This is their nature journal stuff. And math right here. Up here is where you'll see homeschooling. So right here is my 6-year-old. So we have her all about reading. We have her Spanish. And then over here is mainly my 10-year-olds. This is right here, my preschoolers, his section right here. But we have my 10-year-old's Lightning Lit, her book, her math, IEW. These are a lot of like teacher guides, things I don't want necessarily the kids pulling off the shelf. My 10-year-old can pull her Lightning literature down here with no issue. She's pretty much as tall as me at this point. So going up even more on the top shelves, we have 2 Generation Genius boxes we have not utilized yet. Those are some Melissa and Doug games, previous Little Justice Leaders boxes, all condensed into one. These are ones we've used, but there's still extra materials to do another experiment if we want. This is art supplies I don't want them getting into, so the nice stuff, extra Kiwi crafting supplies in there, our scale. Up here is group subjects, so everything over here is art, and we do have a little bit of writing in there as well. And this will be group subjects for next year as well, so we have philosophy, geography, history, and then I do have Michael Clay Thompson over here as well, just to keep it safe. This is chapter books, so most of them are from last year from Torchlight, and some of them are from Lightning Literature. And then I do have a couple readers for my daughter that my middle daughter hasn't got into yet. Some manipulatives, things like that stick there. I designed this for my 6.5-year-old. So these are all her readers. Everything on the shelf she can read. And it does have varying levels. Obviously it has the early readers, the Bob books, and then the more harder, almost short chapter books. So when she reads daily, she picks from this shelf. And then I do keep my son's alphabet and shape and number puzzles here just so he doesn't constantly get into them. And here is kind of our series book. So these are all Arthur Mark Brown books. These are just small illustrated classics. So we have a bunch of those in there. And then my kids have some comic books and some National Geographic and Lego magazines that stay there. And as you can see, the rest is toys. So in the center, we just have my son's Legos. You saw his books already. These are the large books that won't fit on any of the other shelves. We have a couple games there. This is where we house all the Osmo stuff. And again, got to keep this away from my 3.5-year-old or he'll tear through everything. So everything for Osmo is here. And we do have a couple little games in here as well. And then the top one is all science. So we have this dissected frog, we have our microscope, our geodes, our compass, our squishy human body, all the science stuff, the microscope slides, things that came in Generation Genius boxes. So all the science stuff is right there. And then over here we do have a kind of nature house thing. This originally was just used to house little dolls, but we used it for nature. Then across from that is where we display art. So this is actually a bathroom right here. It used to be a closet, but it was plumbed for a bathroom. And what we ended up doing is when the original owners of the house redid the bathroom upstairs, they only made a shower and took out the bathtub. Well, I had 2 young kids at the time and we needed a bathtub, so my husband renovated this into a bathroom, as you can see here. And this is a frosted glass, so you can't actually see when somebody's in there, but there's no windows in here, so that was our solution to having some natural light in there. But this is a small bathroom, so pretty much the kids' bathroom. So obviously we can't use any of that for space. And then one other thing we do utilize in this room is this small trampoline. Got this from Walmart. This really helps my 6.5-year-old. She needs to move a lot, and she really likes to do her leap words, so her flashcard type words, while bouncing on this, and having her have a place to move while she works or take a break is really helpful. So right off the family room, we do have our living room, and you might have seen videos, this couch and things like this. So right here we have the calendar wall. This is for my preschool coming up. He puts the date in. And then over here I just have the kids' July schedules. we're getting ready to switch into the school year schedule, and that's on display for them to know what they're doing next. Something else we utilize is this Ikea board, again, only 15 bucks. It has a whiteboard and a chalkboard, and then it has these little containers that you can push on. So we have, art supplies, markers, pencils, dry erase markers, crayons for the kids to use. But over here, what we pretty much use this space for is this is where my 10-year-old works. So this is the cart I was talking about. Again, this cart's probably almost 15 years old. My husband had it back in college. He said he got it from Target. I don't know if it still exists anymore, but this fits under all of our furniture. So when my 10-year-old's doing her IEW, she'll just move it into there. Otherwise, she does most of her work on this blue couch in here. And we have found that they work better in separate areas. So she works in here, and my 6-year-old works in the dining room. But for storage is this cabinet. So we do have a fireplace and shelving. Again, this is where my husband and I keep our books. So this is all just comic books from my husband. These are my husband's books, some of our Bibles. This is where we keep library books. This is all my books, currently what I'm reading up there, and more of my husband's books. So this is homeschool storage, and this is a little bit of homeschool storage. Let me show you. All right, so over here we have my 6-year-old. Again, these are from Ikea. They're just the cardboard bins. They've held up for years. You can see they have some wear, but still working. So we have math, her folder, anything like that. I do keep the dimensions tests booklets in here. So it has her reading book, it has her dimensions textbook and math book in there. And then same thing over here, this is my 10-year-old, so it has her dimensions and a notebook for doing her math in. Her lightning ledger is kept on the shelf just to keep it away from her brother. And this is just extra notebooks and paper. And then down here is kind of school supplies. So we have the bears, just because I want to keep them away from my 3-year-old when he's not being watched. And then this entire bin is markers, pencils, crayons, all the school supplies you'll need. We have the do-a-dot markers. We have some maps back there, some activities, and this is a big art bin. So it has all the tempera paint, acrylic paint, and some smocks. So that's just basic school supply storage down there. And then over on this side is pretty much just electronic storage. So we have my daughter's laptop that used to be my husband's. And this is where we keep our Kindle Fire, and all the electronics are stored in that bin, all the cords, everything like that. All those boxes are just craft boxes. So they're labeled like ribbon or felt or whatever they might be. So those are organized. The kids can pull them out when they need to be. And then a new addition was this piano. We got this a while ago, and this is kind of why the furniture around, because this was the only place the piano could go because of the wall space and windows. There are windows almost on every wall, and it's not great to have a piano on a window. So this was the main place it could go. So this is where my daughter and I do piano, and we just do the Kindle Fire here, Hoffman Academy Online. And then my workspace. So this is my desk. It used to be my husband's. And this is where I keep my laptop, my planner. We got a more Mac desktop. And again, this was from Woot. I'll link it down below. It's an Amazon-owned site where they have daily deals on electronics and various items where they're severely discounted. And this one was obviously I think in a school, if I had to guess, so it can be like a floor model or something that's been refurbished. But I was able to get this for $250, and my laptop is becoming older, and soon it's going to stop taking updates. So we decided it was worth the $250. And what's really nice is with this monitor is I can turn this around, and it's pretty much like having a TV in this room for the kids. So when we do core knowledge, I just upload the textbook on here, and I'll flip through that. When we do any YouTube videos, I'll flip through this. So this has actually been really great and a useful part of our homeschool. So if you're looking for electronics, I would highly recommend looking at that site. And then I just have all my pens, pencils, all that stuff back there. That's just craft supply storage. I do keep all of our, this is from Dollar Tree, all of our paintbrushes in here just to keep them away from my youngest. You'll see that's a theme here. And then this hasn't changed much since my last video. Just carries office supplies, all about reading levels. And this is paper storage for me. Down here we still have that blue band paper. This is the Epson EcoTank. Highly recommend this printer. We've had it for a few years now, and we just recently had to refill the ink. So that, and we've never had to refill the color. So that tells you we print a lot with core knowledge, and this is my planner for the coming school year. So going from that space is straight across to our dining room, which is where my 6-year-old works. This is her area. And again, it's better for them to work in separate environments. My 6-year-old gets very easily distracted. My 10-year-old prefers it quiet, and they both have to still be accessible to me for questions. So this is where my 6-year-old works, and sometimes my 3-year-old will work over here if he's not being too loud. If sometimes he's too loud, he will go to the room with the orange couch. My 10-year-old will be in the room with the blue couch, and my 6-year-old will be in here. And you can see here it's pretty accessible to go back and forth without any issues, but this will look more familiar. This is usually the background of most of my videos. And the other part we have here is, this is where I display things they're working on. So this was a boat they made with summer reading program. This was a solar oven we made with core knowledge. These are some candles they made for Mother's Day. The globe we made, this was my 10-year-old's boat. They made rain sticks, a kiwi crate thing over there, and this is my 10-year-old's kiwi crate as well, something she's working on. So anything they are proud of that they want to display goes on this shelf. That gives you a quick overview of her space. And again, I just need to grab that little Ikea folder holder and move it over here. She can get started with her work, no issue. So we are at the last part of homeschool storage. So this is my bedroom and my closet. Now, like I said, we have limited closet space in my house. So we have 4 bedrooms upstairs, and each bedroom has a small closet with it. But that small closet has to be used for clothes for the kids. They're not very large, you can't fit a dresser in them. Because it's an older house, the dimensions are weird, so you can't fit a lot of storage units or cubbies or anything like that in there. So the kids need their closets for clothes. I myself don't have a ton of clothes. So what I did is I utilized another Ikea shelf that we've had for years. Again, I really like to utilize things I already have on hand. I don't like to go out and buy a bunch of organizational things because again, it changes constantly. Your kids are getting older, furniture changes, things change. You don't need to constantly be buying different organizations. I find it's helpful mostly to pare down and get rid of stuff than go out and buy a new organization. So I'm going to show you my last spot. This is where I keep either stuff we haven't gotten to yet, so curriculum I'm storing for future use, or curriculum that my oldest has finished and is getting handed down to my younger children. So this is my closet. If you're wondering, my husband has a wardrobe that we purchased from Ikea. That's where all his clothes are. But I have a bunch of hanging clothes, and then I have a cubby unit on the side here that I utilize for my clothes, and that's all I need. But I find having this in my room helpful for a couple of reasons. One, I keep next year's books up here because if I have them out on our bookshelf downstairs, my 10-year-old will read them all. And I want her to read and go along with the curriculum and not get ahead. And again, I have my son's preschool, which he'll be doing next year. This is the letter of the week curriculum. And my plan with that is to just, when we're on letter, C, grab the C section and keep it in that file folder downstairs at my desk. I don't want to keep this downstairs because it's huge, first of all. 2, I don't want my 3.5-year-old to get into this. This is all pre-sorted. Activities are where they're supposed to be. I don't want him getting into it, so it is staying in here. Now, my kids come in my room, but they don't mess with my closet, so we haven't had any issues with them taking out curriculum or messing with things. Like I said, up here I have my 3.5-year-old's preschool. Again, every week I'll just take that chunk of letter that we're doing, take it downstairs, and that's how it will be. Here I have the health books my daughter will be reading. Again, we're focusing on puberty, period, all that this year. So those are in the order we're going to use it. Here's our history, and it's again organized by read aloud and spine books in order we'll go through the curriculum. Here's the Chicka Chicka Boom Boom tree that will go downstairs starting next week when we start our curriculum for the year. These are the lightning literature books that my 5th grader will be using. Again, they're all in order. I find that really easy. So when I come upstairs, I just pull the book I need. These are the Fed Reserve resources. I have a video on that. I'll link up above all the things I ordered. And then down here is the bookshelves. Again, reuse this unit. It used to be at one of my kids' room. So most of this is curriculum we've already gotten to. So for example, Lightning Lit grade 4 is up here. French is something we started but didn't finish. This is Torchlight level 2, Curiosity Chronicles, another these two go together. Curiosity Chronicles. I have all my math down here, so these are all the teacher guides for dimensions that we've already gone through because my middle child will go through that, and hopefully my youngest. Math with Confidence, my preschool will eventually be doing that, so I kept the teacher guides for it. These are my kids' portfolios for kindergarten and first, and then 3rd and 4th are in there. I do keep the test booklets from Dimensions because I feel like that's a good display of their math skills, so those go in their portfolios. So this is language arts. We have Michael Clay Thompson. We've already gone through all that. All About Reading level 1. My middle child's already gone through that, so that's waiting for my preschool. So you can see this will be on the shelf for a couple years because he won't be ready for this for a while. Another level, Lightning Literature. These are the workbooks that go with the trophies books. The first level, IEW, and this was a level of Torchlight. This is our art. So all these are art right here, and these are readers. So these are Harcourt Health. This is, I believe, 4th and 5th grade, or 3rd and 4th grade. I don't remember exactly. These are the art books starting on kindergarten and above, and then over here is the Journeys Trophies 1st grade readers. These are the ones we have not gotten to yet. The ones we have finished are over here on the side, just because I want to be able to quickly grab what I need, and I don't want to have to think about it. So if it's organized like this now, then when I need stuff, I can just pull it when I need it. So those are all my homeschool spaces and organization. Again, not perfect, not pretty, but it gets the job done. And I think that's the main point. Is having homeschool stuff stored in my closet the most convenient? No, but it's a storage space. I have the stuff to store it, so that's how I do it. And I think it will continue to evolve as we do more and more homeschooling and more curriculum enters this house, is we'll just roll with it and use what we have. So if you have any questions about anything I showed you or talked about, leave them in the comments below. If not, thank you for watching.